Hey there, welcome to this episode of Tales from the Podcast, and Chuckles McNasty is joining me this week. How's it going, buddy?
Let's go, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. In fact, we're doing so good that we're over 300% funded on our comic book already.
That's pretty good to me.
Yeah, dude, that's like really fucking good. Not only that, but like 330 something percent, and we've unlocked every fucking stretch goal.
I gotta get to sketching.
Yeah, you do. You actually got quite a few of them to do at this point.
Yeah, I'm kind of behind, like everything else in my life.
It's okay. I mean, you got a couple of weeks anyway before we're gonna be sending it out. So, I mean, it's not horrible, but
I just hope people like anatomy.
Yeah. I am gonna share the link though to everybody. So, if you haven't yet, we are kind of having a small little contest with our publisher Josh, and we want to have more backers than him. So I mean, if you're really cool, and don't get me wrong, not everybody's really cool, but if you are, I mean, you don't have to back a lot. Like technically, if you throw $1 our way, it counts as a backer, and we're just trying to get more backers than him anyway. But go ahead, do that, or pick up a digital copy for $4, or go ahead and spend $75 and get 16 copies. I'm A-okay with any of that. Anyways, Chuck, we got a guest on this episode, don't we?
We do.
Oh, yeah, we do. And his name is Mr. Andy Imhof.
Boys! Hey, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are absolutely crushing it with the comic book, dude.
We're trying to. We are trying to. That's for sure.
It's tempting.
We're pushing it as hard as we can. And I mean, what else can we do? You know what I mean? Like,
you're doing it. I mean, you're doing it. That's just, you had a concept. You decided, hey, we were going to do this, and you're doing it. It's incredible. It's like, see, the thing I love about talking to people back when I had my food show, pardon my fork.
Yes,
I love talking to people that were small, doing big things in a small format, and I just love the idea of people rolling the dice on themselves. Betting it all and coming up big, and that's really what you're doing here, and it's incredible. So congratulations. I mean, seriously.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. It definitely means a lot, especially coming from somebody like you. I mean, you're a good friend. Not only that, but like I wouldn't say that you're like even a huge horror fan, but just the fact that you like everything going on with it, says a lot to me.
Well, you keep me engaged, you keep me entertained, and that's really what we're here to do, right? I mean, there's a reason why people listen to your podcast. There's a reason why people listen to my podcast, and it's because they come to be entertained and connect, maybe learn something new, and just have a good time, right?
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Sometimes people are coming for the off chance that I'm going to try to sell Chuck's nudes to them, though.
Oh, sure. Well, that I have to admit, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. They call him Chucky D for a reason,
They do call him Chucky D, and for the next person who donates $80, you get the whole collection of Chucky D nudes.
People don't realize this because we said that we were backstage off air, but at a certain point, JB told Chuck to go fuck himself, and he said, "I can't if I'm hard." So I mean, it's go ahead and infer what you will from that, but I'm just saying.
that conversation 100% did happen before. We
Yeah,
realized it.
It kind of there was a conversation, but it wasn't just me in the conversation, Tim.
No.
I made a joke and it went way too far.
Yeah. A joke went too far, and I will fully admit that I am probably the one that took it too far.
Let's be real. Anytime I'm on your show, things go too far. We all know this.
They
This is
do.
true.
It could very well be your fault, to be fair.
Well, like for example, so I moved to Florida here just a couple 3 months ago, right? You guys know that.
Oh,
Moved
yeah,
there from
definitely.
Oregon. Oregon has terrible wildfires almost every year. It's forestry mismanagement. It's also has something to do with the weather up there, but mostly it's just during the year, trees falling over. They dry out in the summer, because the weird thing about Oregon is it virtually rains and stays gray 9 months out of the year. And I know any Oregonians that you have listening to your show are going to be like, no, that's not right. Hey, guess what, bitches? When I moved to Florida, I've chronically had vitamin D problems the entire time I lived in Oregon. All of my vitamin D problems are solved now that I live in Florida. You guys live in a gray state, okay? But when shit does finally dry out in the summer and we have that 3-month long stretch where there's no rain, the wildfires are horrible. Wildfires are crazy. Like last year when we were in Oregon, we got surrounded by wildfires. I honestly thought that
I remember we were talking that whole time.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to pack up all of my animals and get them off of our property. Fortunately, Junkie took care of that for us and burned down our goat barn. But you know, it got bad last year. And then for the first time, apparently since like 38-year-olds have lived here in my area of Florida, they had wildfires. Not only that, there was a wildfire where I could see trees on fire from my back porch. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I moved to Florida to get away from this. What exactly is going on here? And it was just a freak accident. Well, no, it wasn't a freak accident. Actually, one of my neighbors, a couple streets down, was having this massive bonfire that caught their barn on fire, which then caught their house on fire, which then caught some forestry land on fire. So fortunately, the winds were blowing away from my house. We didn't have to do anything about it, but it was a weird kind of coincidence. You know, I'd moved out of an area that has terrible wildfires just to my first year living here have some terrible wildfires right next to my house. It was very strange.
Well, yeah, that's I couldn't imagine having fires next to my house. I mean, that alone is fucking horrible. Like,
terrifying.
Only upshot is that we had our RV, and so I was like, all right, let's start packing shit into the RV. Shit that we wanted to keep, you know. I mean, we do have good insurance. You heard what I'm saying? A little hint, wink, wink. Like, I could use a new computer. My Roadcaster is a few years old, so you know, if we lost a few things in the fire, like I need to keep my social security card, birth certificate, maybe some of my firearms, you know, stuff like that. The cats, right?
Well, I mean, well, cats don't have a lot of value on them either. So I mean, like, I don't know how much money you get back on a cat with insurance.
Well, this is true, especially not cats that are as old as mine.
That is fair. That is fair. And by the way, Ron's here. He says, "Cue burning down the house by talking."
I was actually just thinking that, Ron.
Right. See, it's weird because every time I think of a fire kind of song, I'm always thinking of Fire, Water, Burn. Bloodhound Gang.
Burn, motherfucker. Or the edited version was actually funny. It was like, burn, mother.
I've never listened to the edited
version. That's back when MTV. That's back when MTV played music videos.
Oh God, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was a really fucking long time ago.
Ooh, but, I have one that's going to blow your mind if you guys remember it the way I do. Kid Rock's Cowboy Baby or whatever the song was called.
Yeah,
Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy.
Stupid editing that they did for that to make it radio safe was just. I couldn't hardly listen to it on the radio because it was
all the sound effects.
Well, paint her wife burp and do the fucking burp, and it was just like, what are we doing?
They had like bells and whistles and shit in it. Well, to be fair, I don't think there's ever been a good editing ever on a Kid Rock song.
Let's be honest,
except for Bull God. That's a good song.
Still is Kid Rock.
Yeah, I don't like Kid Rock.
Like,
I got
I
to
mean,
I got to fight with this bus driver back when I worked at Liquor Barn a few years
it was
back.
probably Kid Rock. He was probably the bus driver.
No, Kid Rock was demanding that his bus driver go to Liquor Barn because he was playing not too far away from there, and he was demanding this pink drink. And the bus driver was like, "Oh, well, this is," and I was like, "Man, if it ain't on the shelf, we ain't got it." So we looked it up, and it wasn't even supposed to be out on the shelf yet for like another month. He got it at some tasting, and he didn't seem to understand what a tasting was.
Yeah.
That it means that it comes out later, and it was a whole big thing, and I had to walk away, or I was getting ready to get fired for doing something really stupid.
No, you're not the only one who remembers Daisy from the MTV.
Oh
Summer
God,
Break.
Daisy Fuentes hurt me. Hurt me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I go back to Kid Rock though. I mean, you're talking about a rapper turned rock star turned
Yeah.
country star.
Yeah.
Like, and then
Kind of
talk
makes
about
me.
a dude that claims to be self-made that grew up with rich parents in Michigan. Like,
Yeah.
so self-made, man. Growing up with all that money really sure as fuck helps.
Yeah, him and his relationship with Hank Jr. Caused some issues with Hank III, and Kid Rock was at some festival or something, and Hank was there playing, and he tried to get up on Hank III's bus, and Hank III just about knocked his ass out. He's like, "What the hell are you doing up here?" Because Kid Rock was like, "Oh man, we're like brothers," and he's like, "No, you're not anything fucking near me, dude. Go the fuck away. Just because my dad likes you doesn't mean I do."
Really?
Fuck Kid Rock.
Spicy.
Shanty's here.
Spicy.
She's like 60 now. Actually, I just looked her up. She is 55.
She's still hot, isn't she?
No.
Really?
Like some of the pictures, yes, but then some of the pictures, it's no. It's like, oh God, I can't think of her name right now. The artist formerly known as Bruce Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn, there we go.
The artist formerly known as Bruce Jenner. God. Canceled.
I
Fucking
they're
I
canceled.
forgot her name. I
I think they're
remembered
nuts,
his.
dude. Daisy Fuentes is still looking pretty good.
Some of
who's
the
that
pictures
other
are pretty
girl?
rough, though. I mean,
There was
that
that
mean?
girl with a really ridiculous laugh. It's driving me crazy.
Kennedy?
Her name is like on the tip of my brain.
uh,
She's got like this. She sounds like a dolphin.
Kennedy? Was it Kennedy?
And it wasn't Kennedy. No,
I
Okay.
don't know.
She always annoyed the fuck out of me.
I'm totally derailing the show. By the way, sorry, you guys.
No,
It's okay. No,
annoying
Now I'm trying to
laugh.
figure-
I don't like Tilly's laugh.
It's Maria Menudo.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember what she looks like.
David says, "Did you guys ever watch that show Liquid Television on MTV?"
Fuck yeah.
It was a sketches like AM Flux and Beavis and Bud. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we all did.
I don't know if Beavis and Butthead was on there, but that's where Eon Flux and Celebrity Deathmatch.
Mm-hmm.
Ron says, "I bet the person that Caitlyn Jenner hit with their car remembers their name."
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's true, and everybody seems to forget about it. Downtown Julie Brown. I'd love to go downtown Julie Brown. But I don't know about now.
We were all
Fuck it, I
thinking
would. Yeah, it's right here now. It's in the memory bank.
Yeah, wow. Shanty says, Chanel West Coast has the true dolphin laugh.
I can't remember who that is.
I think it's. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Shanty will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's the girl that is on the Ridiculousness show.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I
But
think that's who that is. I think that's who that is.
I think so.
She's hot, but if I was with her, I'd have to have her mouth shut for the most part.
Well, I mean,
Well, taped mouth and tied up. That's how you like them, right?
For the most part, but sometimes that mouth been untaped is kind of a good thing.
Right.
Canceled. We're canceled.
But hey, while we're talking about MTV, do you guys remember Club La Vela, where they used to do like the and it was like a MTV, we're partying all night, we're in this club down in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Do you recall that?
The Grindhouse? The Grindhouse kind of thing?
Grindhouse was filmed there. and it was called Club. I think it was Club La Vela. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That club is like 20 miles from me in Panama City Beach, and it is completely demolished and dilapidated. Not so the hurricane like 4 years ago came through, and it did take the building out of commission basically. But what actually happened was, here's the actual backstory, is when inspectors went in to see how bad the building was, they realized that it was a building that had like 8 other buildings built onto it, and it was not structurally sound.
Oh, wow.
So they had to condemn the whole thing. It had just been expanded over and over and over, but wasn't structurally tied together. I worked in a titanium foundry that was that way once. It was a really fascinating experience. So if you had to walk from one end of the factory to the other, it was like walking a labyrinth. Like every time I walked through it, I was expecting to encounter like magical creatures.
I worked at a factory that was like that too, and it was like every time that you walked through to one spot to another spot, because of fire safety hazards, because they were like almost to code, they would have drop doors in between the different additions.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. They would have those fucking fire doors that were automatic, and you'd have to hit a safety button to go in between them. Yes.
Yeah. That's when you know where you're at is like just the cheapest motherfucking place in the world.
Bro, if a wolf decided that it was going to huff and puff, that shit's blowing down.
Oh, dude. The place that I was talking about, I think within the 5 years that I knew about, I think there was like 4 or 5 fires. And like, yeah, I mean, it was so bad, dude.
We didn't, at this titanium foundry I worked at, we didn't have to worry about the fires so much. But what would happen is in between the building additions where, I mean, you're still.
Well, there was welding and powder coating going on at this place.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you got high risk there.
Well, but for us, instead of fire, it was water making its way in. Like they weren't sealed correctly. And
yeah, we had that problem.
And rain. Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever welded in 3 inches of water?
Fuck that.
Bring your rubber boots.
The worst part is I know there's people that are going to be listening to this at a later time. They're going to be sitting there calling me like, dude, you probably shouldn't be talking about this.
True.
And speaking of that place, thank you so much, Joey B, for your contributing. I miss you, man. I miss you at that place. You're one of the very few people there that I actually cared about and liked. And I also want to give a shout out to my buddy Eric for pushing us to our over $1,000 to hitting our last stretch goal too.
Badass.
Oh yeah. Anyways, Ron saying, is ridiculousness just Jackass Light? No, it's like Tosh.0 ripoff.
Yeah.
I thought Tosh.0 was a ripoff.
I don't know. Either way, I like Tosh.0 a lot more. I like Daniel Tosh's humor. I mean, anybody that can go on stage and make 4 or 5 abortion jokes in a row is cool with me. David, one of the shows on MTV I remember was the concert specials Unplugged.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite concerts that was on there was the Korn, and they did a little bit of stuff with The Cure.
Yeah,
which was fucking awesome on there.
Yeah. It was the only, I wasn't really a fan of Korn Unplugged, but because that just right there just doesn't make any fucking sense.
But having
it's like a Christian death metal band. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, well, we got those too.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't hear those shows. They should have plugged in.
It was always weird. You know, the one that surprised me the most was Foo Fighters. I'm old enough to remember the first time that Foo Fighters did an acoustic set, and I was like, what the fuck?
That was the most surprising one to you? I think the most.
It wasn't LL Cool J?
The most surprising acoustic set I've ever heard, and don't get me wrong, now it's just like one of my favorite CDs, but the first time I heard it was Incubus.
Oh yeah.
Like their acoustic stuff is just like, it's a whole new fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's fucking great. They actually did something that was actually really cool. I've only seen them one time, and it was back when I guess when Warning and Wish You Were Here, when those songs were coming out. They did like their usual set, and except after like 4 or 5 songs, they brought in like a living room set. Like there was like a couch and like a love seat, and like
and some like it looked like lights and shit that looked like a living room. And they came out and did like 4 or 5 songs acoustic, and then went back to their electric stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. They're definitely a good acoustic band or plugged in.
I like the differences between their regular version and their acoustic version of like a certain shade of green.
Yeah,
like the one's like heavy as fuck, and then the other one's like light jazz.
Yeah,
but
let me throw this out to you guys. I would love to hear like an acoustic version of Smash Mouth, but I would love it if they would give a little bit of like a southern twang to it. You know what I mean?
So Smash Mouth is back, right?
Are they back?
They got a new singer.
Yeah, the other guy lost his mind.
No shit, I had no idea.
Well, no, he did not lose his mind. All right,
he lost his fucking mind. He was
one of the greatest singers of all time.
Oh, shut up!
Ask him.
You're not. Yeah, no, he'll tell you.
He'll tell you he was.
Fucking Smash. Oh, and actually, Smash Mouth did do an acoustic performance on TRL back in the day.
I want to hear them doing it.
And well, here's the funny thing: is they had a guest, and the guest was
Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
No, it was it was Carson Daly. He joined him on acoustic guitar. It was interesting.
That sounds horrible.
Well, the other weird thing is Deftones did an acoustic set on TRL once, and Adam Sandler.
Deftones are actually good though.
Yeah, I love Deftones. And Adam Sandler and I think Carson Daly also did that one too. Both had acoustic guitars and were playing with the band.
Adam Sandler can actually play though. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really care much about him, but I give him a lot of credit for that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this before it gets too late here.
We're almost at the halfway point and haven't even mentioned the episode. I love it. I love us.
Wait, we haven't talked about the Blues Travelers yet. No, I'm just joking. Go.
I used to love Blues Travelers.
Brings you back.
I saw that.
Or how about Bare Naked Ladies? Broke into the old apartment. This is where we used to live.
That other guy was there, I thought.
Bare Naked Ladies has some great covers, by the way. Like their cover of oh shit, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it. It's one of my favorites.
It's okay. Covers. Nobody's holding it against you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now.
No, it's okay.
But now I'm curious. What do you think of it
later? So just quick reminder for everybody listening, I have a brain injury. So I'll be talking and then I'll just forget what I was talking about. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Like if you get pissed off and you go, wow, this guy's fucking stupid, you're right.
No, not stupid.
What the fuck, dude? You're right.
I'm not stupid, I'm disabled.
Right.
I'm not a trash cannot. I'm a trash can, and that's why I'm here.
Fair enough. I like
that was well said.
But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this episode, and I'm gonna go through it before I get too many interruptions. So, the episode that we are going to be doing this week is Tales from the Crypt, obviously, and it is from season 5. It is episode 8, and it's titled "Well Cooked Hams." It is based off the story from Tales from the Crypt, issue number 27, and this episode originally aired November 3rd of 1993. Jeez. I would have been 5 at this time. Ooh. Going into the cast of this one, I mean, we first off, this was directed by Elliot Silverstein, best known for what he did a bunch of stuff with like the Twilight Zone back in the day. He did one of my favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt, The Reluctant Vampire, with Michael Berryman. I mean, he's done a lot of like just basic TV stuff as well. I mean, nothing like super like out of the norm, but I mean, the dude still started like the 50s, I believe. But well established director nonetheless. This was the screenplay was done by Andrew Kevin Walker. Who,
what a name!
Yeah,
I know,
Andy. Hell yeah!
But he wrote Seven. He wrote the Johnny Depp version of Sleepy Hollow.
Nice.
He wrote Brain Scan. The dude's been around. He's done quite a few pretty cool things. This was
fucking love Brain Scan.
This was one of his first things though that he ever written though. He also did the 2010 Wolfman. So he has done some bad stuff too.
I was gonna say that movie sucks.
They can't all be gems. They can't all be gems.
If you want to take a good nap, That's what I did in the theater.
I will remind you all, by the way, if you're a professional gambler, like you live in Las Vegas, you're a professional gambler, that means that your hit rate is 51%.
Well, I mean, that sounds about right.
So just, we can look at his career, and if he's got more than 51% of good movies, that objectively means he's a good one, right?
I agree with that.
That's fair. That's fair.
I agree with that.
So with that same logic, Jason Blum is still a piece of shit.
God damn it, again.
It's okay. So as far as this episode, we got Martin Sheen as Kragan. I mean, dude played a few characters, let's be fair. But I mean, what is Martin Sheen known for?
Apocalypse Now.
Thing. Well, I mean, some would say Apocalypse Now, but other people would also say the Departed.
I was gonna say The Departed. Yeah.
I mean, the dude's
Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen, Ray Estevez.
Well, yeah, the dude is pretty famous. I mean, there's really
just a tad.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much I could say. Like, but dude's on fucking everything, dude. I mean, TV shows, films, and I mean for years and years and years.
Amazing actor. 100%.
David and Ron say The West Wing.
West Wing, yep.
Oh shit, yeah.
Right.
I hated that show, but yeah, I know he was on
there. Yeah. Let's see here. We also got one of my personal favorite actors. We got Billy Zane playing Miles Fetterman.
Billy Zane is so good. Billy Zane is one of those actors where some people are going to recognize his face but not recognize the name. He's like a Tony Shalhoub. He's like,
well, I mean, in this one he was like, like unless you knew who it was going into it, seeing him with hair and facial hair,
right,
a little bit different in this episode.
But Billy Zane's just such a. I shouldn't say he's a good. I mean, he's a good actor.
Oh
but
no,
he's iconic.
Yeah.
He's just, when you start talking about Billy Zane, he comes from the same generation as Brendan Fraser and
a lot of other amazing actors.
Exactly. And so he's kind of a callback to us millennials' childhoods.
Right. And I mean, he's done some pretty iconic films himself too. I mean, he was in one of the greatest movies of all time, The Phantom.
Yep.
There
for a second I thought you were going to say Titanic. You had me going. You had me going in the first half.
No, nobody saw that piece of shit.
Oh. God, what a sad movie.
I know, it really was. I mean,
it just because of what it was, but yeah, I've seen the movie twice.
First off, I mean, I don't think it's insensitive at this point in time, but all right, I get upset when people hit, stop signs, poles, rear end another person, but you hit a motherfucking iceberg. How big is a fucking iceberg? You got to purposely be trying to hit that fucking thing.
You probably don't want to go deep into this whole thing, but there is some evidence to suggest that the Titanic wasn't actually the Titanic. It was the Olympic, and the Olympic had to be scrubbed, and they did not get their insurance money back from it. And so there is some evidence out there supporting the idea that the Titanic was actually purposefully scuttled in order to get the insurance money to cover the build of the Olympic and the Titanic. And it gets even stranger if you go out and read the book Futility. The book Futility basically outlines everything that happened to the Titanic, but it was written 14 years before the Titanic sunk.
There you go.
I don't want to go deep into a conspiracy, but
I've heard all that shit too. Yeah,
it doesn't sound out of the realm of possibility.
I'm just saying.
No.
Shanty says Demon Knight. David says Billy Zane was also in the movie Critters. Yes. Ron says, "Come on, Chuck Keystone, really?"
Come on, Ron. Yeah.
I also want to mention that Billy Zane
was
in a lot better movies than those too. Do you guys remember this classic film called Zoolander 2?
No, because I hate those movies.
He was in that. I mean, the dude's done a lot of really, really good shit.
He
He was in,
hey he
he was
he
in
was
Blood
he,
Rain.
yeah, he was the colonel. He was the colonel. Come on now.
Yeah, that's true. What was that one he was in too, where it was like man, I can't think of the name of it. It's oh god, what the fuck is it? Dead Calm.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know,
That's
yeah.
I like that one a lot. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's in quite a few good ones. We also have. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Miriam Dabo,
Diabo.
We have
Diablo,
her in this, and
Think of it like Diablo, but it's Diabo.
right, she was.
like Debo the devil.
She wasn't in like too many great things. Let's just be honest.
Well, but she was a Bond girl. Now, granted, it was one of the worst Bond films, so I'll grant
What?
you that.
Which one?
Um, shit, I don't even remember the name of it. That's how terrible it was.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Bond girl. You sure she was a Bond girl?
I'm almost positive she was one of the Bond girls.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that really makes it.
All right, fill time. I'll find it and I'll tell you.
I'm looking it up right now myself too, and I mean I'm not seeing anything as far as a Bond girl type thing for her as of yet. I mean she's done a lot of stuff, a lot of TV stuff like Helen of Troy, um, Mowgli, Hell, Evil Remains, The Prince and Me Too. She's done a lot of like TV movies, TV shorts. I mean nothing too extravagant though. I mean, even her early work, I mean, like it's just a lot of TV. Masters of the Game, Arthur the King. Um,
Okay, so if I may, sorry to interrupt.
no,
It
you're
was The Living Daylights, which was a 1987 Bond film. Uh-huh.
Oh, was it?
No. Yes, no. It was a
I,
Timothy
I,
Dalton one.
oh, you know what? You are right. You are right, and that's probably why I didn't really care about it because nobody likes Timothy Dalton.
Dude, okay, hold on. Timothy Dalton, he was an unfortunate choice for Bond. I will admit that.
A
It was also,
he's no Pierce.
well,
No, but it was License to Kill. Was that the one he was in?
He's been fucking. He was. I think he might have been in the most of them.
Talk about the Timothy Dalton.
Oh no.
No, he was only in a couple. But
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton has had a little bit of a resurgence. Do you remember Timothy Dalton in Hot Fuzz? He was awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
He was. Do you remember Timothy Dalton in Flash Gordon?
Yes.
Not so awesome in that movie.
I remember watching that movie when I was a kid, and at the end, when the bad guy fell on the spikes, and he like out of his eyes and mouth came like it looked like vomit paste, and I was just like,
Oh yeah.
even as a kid, I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's not
Yeah.
even scary looking. What the shit is that? Like, what just poured out of his eye holes? I don't understand.
Right. Let's see. Let's see here. Shanty says maybe a bondage girl.
Ooh.
And then Ron, if Andy is saying Moonraker is one of the worst ones, he's never seen Timothy Dalton once. Which is funny because that's before you said this. Because Timothy Dalton is like so.
Which ones was Dalton in though?
License to Kill was one of
Yeah.
them.
Okay, that's the one I remember.
Yeah. The Living Daylights was the other. Rob,
Uh,
count on Rob, that's for sure. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. License to Kill. What I liked about that was the guy, like the bad guy, in that one. Because I can't remember his fucking name, but he was also like a Maniac Cop, Die Hard, shit like that.
And it's not. It's just the 80s Bond films. Just they were not well received at the time because in the 80s, you know, movies were doing so many different things, and it wasn't really until the 90s when you had Pierce Brosnan, and it really brought the franchise back to life because they were doing the over the top, and they had the music, and I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah, those were the good ones. Yeah.
Right.
I Dalton only got to start two of the movies, before legal issues, they between MGM and Eon, they they got rid of him even though they were planning a third movie. So they got rid of him even in the middle of planning a next movie with him.
I mean, that kind of says something.
I would say he got short shafted, but the two movies he's in were not very good anyways. So
No, I mean, the two Bond movies he was in were not very good, and
that's
then
what I mean.
all the regular movies he was in were not very good either. So I mean, like
I'm trying to think of what all he was in.
I think probably the coolest thing he did was probably the Living Daylights music video that Aha did.
Do not remember that.
It was the Bond song back for the the film for James Bond, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I don't
And
remember.
Aha did it. I can't play it because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah.
But honestly, I think Timothy Dalton is still. I mean, I think because I know he's been in a bunch of like BBC production stuff. You know, my wife is way into all of the British Jane Austen kind of shit, you know. And so once in a while, look, sometimes on a date night, and she's like, I want to watch a fucking Jane Austen, blah, blah, something or other. Here's what I do. Chuck, you're going to appreciate this. About 3 hours prior, I take an edible, a pretty strong one too. And I forego the CBD. I'll do like a sativa, you know, I'm talking like a 5 milligram, which for you might not be much, but for me, that's a lot because I'm a recreational user. Right. And so I'll pop a 5 milligram sativa, so it doesn't put me to sleep, but it helps me to enjoy things that I normally wouldn't.
Right.
And I'll sit and I'll get fucking into it. I'll start throwing back some fucking whiskey. I'll pop open like a 16-year rum, and I'm just like, all right, if we're doing this, we're gonna do it. And I'll be sitting there sipping a little bit of rum that was aged in bourbon barrels. I'm high as fuck. There is no better way for a man to be supportive and have a quality experience when it comes to movies like that. Like, you don't have to just angry sit through them, you know. You don't have to sit there with your arms crossed and be like, man, that's fucking stupid, or looking down at your phone. Like, if you really want to have an engaging moment with your wife, if you want to be like right there, fully engaged, fully aware, you have, you know, she has all of your attention, just get high as fuck.
You should have your own relationship
I know
podcast. That was really well said. That was really well done.
Well, I'm really glad that you guys paused because I could tell that both of you were like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So I liked that long pause.
Well, like,
actually makes perfect sense to me.
Coming from somebody who used to partake very, very regularly and now can't, I will say that me personally, it hasn't changed either way.
Fair enough.
But, you know, I mean, when you do it for 20 years and then stop, it becomes so much of a part of your life that it's just the way you are.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, it's a little bit different. But anyways, going back to this episode, I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough, and then we can go ahead and get a little bit more in detail on our, you know, our thoughts personally on it. But
you're going to skip the twins, Randy and Candy?
God. Yeah, Randy and Candy. Yeah, because what did they did? I bet they're like that other set of twins. They didn't do a lot, dude. I mean,
Playboy. That's what they did.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Well, I mean, not just that, but they did a lot of TV appearances as well too.
Tales and Crypt had a few playmates on episodes.
Well, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, 90s show finally could show.
Oh, it was perfect.
TV. I mean, it was,
it was. You gotta get the best.
But I wasn't gonna mention them because I mean, that was a short fucking cameo, and I usually just try to mention the people that actually had an impact on the episode.
All right, fair enough.
You know, and nothing against them, but I mean, like, let's be honest, like, almost everything that they've played was playing twins and stuff together, just like every other pair of twins in Hollywood at that time.
True. Yeah.
It's so, like if you're a little person, you just go to Hollywood and get work because that's just the way it is. It's not going to be dignified. You're probably going to be in an Ewok suit.
I mean, like,
you're going to get punched in the face by Bam Margera, and that's just the way it is.
I don't know. I don't think
not anymore.
Bad. I mean, like, we got houses perfectly built for, like, I mean, There's everything that, like, if anything, I mean, things are going really, really well for little people right now.
Wow,
They have
you're being
Peter
very
Dinklage
diplomatic. I'm
leading the way
impressed.
for them.
Mm-hmm,
Like, I mean, like they got a hell of a leader.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he looks at himself as the leader of little people.
I mean, I think Warwick Davis kind of holds that place, but yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I mean, he did, but then, I mean, come on,
I mean,
dude
no,
had
I'm
a
with
kid, and
you.
now
I'm
he's
with
too
you on
much of a
this.
puss to fucking make a movie.
Hey, you watch your mouth, buddy. All
No,
right.
no, I love the dude to death, but come on, having
I
a
got
kid
you.
means you have to step away from the franchises that made you.
I, I
Come
mean,
on,
not in my eyes, but maybe in his.
in his,
I
yeah,
Well,
think
yeah.
there's a comedian, and I'm pretty sure his name is Brian Williams. He's super funny, and
I,
yeah,
I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
yeah,
he's got a bit about how he gets free drinks all the time because he tells people he is Wee Man. It was it's really
Yeah.
funny.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
that guy's funny. Yes.
My daughter actually introduced me to him. He's
Oh, yeah.
raunchy. He's funny as hell.
Rob says Hornswoggle.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
the worst leprechaun ever.
Oh God. Yeah, it
The
was so bad.
worst. How did he get that role and never showed himself? Like,
Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon.
Why did they even give him a credit?
Vince
You know what I
McMahon.
mean? Like, okay, we're gonna have you as the star as this. You're gonna play a leprechaun, but you're not really gonna be in it.
Yeah,
I think wasn't that seen as a WWE like movie because he was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's Vince McMahon.
God, that was so bad.
I have not even ever watched it.
Because it was
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it was
See, yeah.
and he should've just
let's
left
be
it
honest though.
uncredited.
Leprechaun in Space was 100 times better.
Ooh, yeah. When you're doing a stupid movie like that, you have to go way above and beyond. Like, have you ever seen Clive Owen in the movie Shoot 'Em Up?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great movie. And it's a
Yeah.
terrible premise, by the way. Like, it would be a horrible movie if they tried to do it serious, but they didn't. They were just like, let's go as over the top as we could. And it's a great fucking movie.
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah, I agree.
some of the greatest movies ever are like that. Like, hell, even Psycho Goreman's like that.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah! Watched that the
You
other
know?
night for the fourth time.
Oh,
Love that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Aren't you happy I showed you that one? I'm fucking tried
It's
to
on
get
Shudder. I
everyone to
would've found
watch
it.
that one forever. God, that's such a good one.
I watched it like immediately after you told me to watch it.
Good. I'm happy.
I don't ever do that anymore, but yeah,
No, because I'm still waiting for you to watch The Curse, so I got somebody to talk to about that.
I'm gonna watch it. If not tonight, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. By the way,
Okay.
if you haven't seen The Curse yet, go watch it. It's a fucking great movie, and not great over the top or anything like that. Like, no, like a solid 9.5. Just a fucking awesome horror movie.
And Foo Fighters was mentioned earlier. Just to throw it out there, Studio 666 is bad as fuck and funny as shit. I love that movie. Just
It wasn't bad either.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
But anyways, talking about this episode,
Yep.
We got Billy Zane as a magician, not a musician, a magician, and he in the past killed another magician, stole his tricks, finds this other magician who kind of introduces himself to him and wants his tricks too, and ends up trying to kill him for it. And to say the least, this magician ends up coming back and letting him die basically on stage, showing himself and kind of like winning over the crowd still. And the basic premise is, somebody stealing somebody's show and trying to use it for their own. But pretty simple plot, pretty straightforward. Obviously we're going to get a little bit more in detail when we talk about it. Rob, he says, wait, what film? If you're talking about the one that I said that was really good, it's called The Cursed. It's really good. Anyways, doing a quick comic book comparison of this one. There are some actual pretty major differences between these ones. The comic book didn't really have a lot to do with basically had nothing to do with magicians. What it was these two American playwrights and actors, I guess you would say, ended up going over to France and watching a play. And they really like the gory effects, and talking about how went and talked to the people involved with it and wanted to know how they did it so they can bring this show kind of thing over to America. And I will say that they did have a really good a cool reference to EC Comics in EC Comic, which was really cool, where they were talking about horror's so big in the United States right now, they even have it in comic books.
Yeah.
Which, just kind of this, showing their what would you call that? Like, basically just like tooting their own horn type thing. But they end up stealing what is these people are told is like how they did it with it and killed the one guy. And they go and they don't come back for it. And they go and do their play and go try to do some of these special effects. And they end up using acid and burning somebody's face with a hot skillet. And none of the effects actually work. They actually end up really putting sulfuric acid in somebody's face and burning somebody else's face with a red hot pan. And yeah, after they realize that, what happened, everyone starts running out because they're all getting sick to their stomach watching these people basically just die in front of them. And the only person left in the auditorium is the corpse of the man who they stole the special effects pages from, which is pretty cool. And Rob says, "Why is it called well-cooked hams?" Let's see here. Why is it called well-cooked hams? I'm not sure. I didn't really.
I think it's a play. I think it's a play on an old saying or something. I can't think of what it is. That's what it seems like it would be.
That's about the only thing that would really make sense. But I'm not 100% sure because it didn't really have a lot to do with hams to begin with, and even the comic book didn't have much of a reference to anything with that whatsoever.
I think it's a sexual innuendo, you guys.
It might be.
Like two pigs fucking.
Just the friction, the friction rub cooks your hams. I don't know.
Right. I had sausage and bacon for dinner. I'm hungry all over again now.
You would be. But anyways, what did you guys think about this episode?
Chuck?
You know what? No, I'm going to go first because I've never got to before.
Okay,
I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of the way here. Andy,
you're that kind of lover, huh? No.
Oh yeah, I am. Andy and I talked about this earlier, and one of the things that we both kind of enjoyed was when Billy Zane goes and kills the magician and does like his little cheesy ta-da, like
that was hilarious.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was pure. What a good moment too, because like he's struggling, and it's not it's 24-minute episode, right? So the struggle wasn't like super epic or anything with Martin Sheen's character, but he sticks the knife in and pulls it back out, and then the last thing I expected Billy Zane to do is turn around and like smile and like throw his hands up and go ta-da.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. As far as like the episode itself, though, there wasn't like a lot of special effects for it or anything like that. There was nothing too extravagant in it. We got Martin Sheen and Billy Zane, and just overall, it's just a very well acted, very entertaining episode, and it's just a solid episode all the way down the line with it. I really can't think of anything bad about the episode. Is it my favorite? No. But it's still a really, really cool one. It's basically, it keeps your basic principle of a Tales from the Crypt episode of, basically somebody getting their comeuppance and, just your basic kind of story with it. And, there's death, violence,
and a moral.
Yeah, it has that. But it's just overall a fun episode. And, seeing somebody like Billy Zane come and do this. And, I personally just love seeing Billy Zane on screen. I think he's a great fucking actor. I think just his presence alone on screen is, just well worth watching at almost any time. But overall, I'd still give this one probably like a good 7. It was a solid episode for me. I really enjoyed it. Andy, why don't you go next, buddy?
Yeah, I agree with that. I sometimes have different opinions from other people on the show historically, but
yeah,
I think you're pretty spot on here because it had a beginning, it had a middle, it had an end. If you're watching the higher resolution version than what JB sends you, you got to stop sending me the 144p stuff, bro. Because then all right. Well, first off, it's like I can send you the YouTube link,
I watched the
you
YouTube
can
ones.
wait for me to send you like the DVD in the mail, and I'm not going to be sending. Like, you know how expensive it would be if I sent every guest the DVD.
Fair enough. I went out there using some of my magical skills, i.e., the website I use to rip basically everything that I get. And so it made a lot more sense once I started watching the beginning with that, because you can clearly see that the sorry, give me just a second here. Zorbin the Magnificent is Charlie Sheen, or excuse me, Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen.
Right.
Charlie Sheen. Holy shit. No tiger's blood here. So Zorbin the Magnificent, you can see that it's Martin Sheen, and then right in the beginning they establish like Billy Zane's character Miles. He killed him off to take his magical stuff, but it's just not working for him, right? And then he has this new guy that approaches him, Kragan, and he's got this magical set that he does, and now Billy Zane wants to steal that, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you realize then, when everything goes wrong with Billy Zane, the swords come down, they stab him from all angles, the sulfuric acid or whatever dumps on his head and burns his scalp, all of the stuff goes wrong. And Billy Zane, in kind of a semi-comical way, is playing it up, and that worked well for the episode because you can't really take anything seriously that this guy's doing. And then at that point, Martin Sheen's character, Craig, well, at the time it was Thomas Miller, who was filming the whole set. It turns out that he was Zorbin the Magnificent the whole time, and he leans down at him and he says, "You should have checked the body before you dumped it to make sure I was dead. You've done that twice now. This was your last opportunity." So that was a nice little twist. Like, he tried to kill him the first time, dumped his body, he survived, came back just to set him up with this whole thing, just to set the whole thing up, just to get him in that box where it's literally just a death trap. Knew he would try to kill him.
Yeah.
Now, how he survived the stabbing, we don't know, but either way, he survived the stabbing.
Well, he's a magician.
So he is a magician. That's a good point. And so that end scene where he's on the stage and he was just like, "You didn't learn the first time. You got to check the body to make sure they're dead." That was kind of a nice little ending to it. It was a little bit weird at the end where everybody's applauding and laughing as Zorbin the Magnificent comes out, and like Billy Zane's laying there dead, and he's like, "Well, that was a killer show."
Well, he distracted everybody by spinning.
Well, yeah, maybe that's part of the whole thing. I'm with you. It's not the greatest episode I've ever seen, but it's certainly not the worst.
Right.
Hint, wink, wink. Justin, you've had me on some stinkers.
I know. This one wasn't, though. This one wasn't.
This one was
a solid fucking episode, dude. I'm gonna stick to my guns on that one.
It was good. It had a solid beginning, middle, and everything.
Straightforward.
Yeah, it was straightforward. It told the entire story in a way that was very coherent. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Fair. What about you, Mr. Chuckles McNasty?
Well, before I tell you about what I think about this episode, this is this is a good one for this. I was saving it for this. Speaking of magicians, lost a good one, huh?
Do you know a magic trick?
No. One of my favorite comedians and magicians died recently. The amazing Jonathan. I would just like to say that the guy was he was fucking hilarious and one of a kind. So, that being said.
I thought you said your favorite magician was Chris Angel.
Shit, I would like to fucking see that guy beat up bad. But anyway, no, it like Andy said, has a beginning, middle, and end. Which sometimes some episodes are kind of like, well, sometimes it's jumbled, and you're like, what the fuck? This one's pretty straightforward. It's a good it's a good short story. Like I could read this in an anthology like done that way or whatever, and be like fine with it, like a quick read. It's a quick watch. It's not too much filler. There's not too much. It's not boring at all. Again, anything that Billy Zane does, I'm okay with watching. The guy entertains the fuck out of me. I thought that he was perfect for that role as well, though. He always it's weird to see him with hair and stuff, but like in that kind of role with like the big mustache and like the full head of hair, and he's It's just that he looks like that dude. Like that's who you think that Billy Zane would be. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. The I would have to say that the Tada thing or whatever, that was perfect for what it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd probably say I'll give it a 7.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rob said rest in peace, obviously, to you. And then he
Yeah,
also
yeah.
says also rest in peace to Scott Hall.
Hey,
Razor
yo.
Ramon, original bad guy. And says sorry, somewhat unrelated. Don't be sorry. It's okay.
Rest in peace for
It,
life.
it is what it is. It's just one of those things. Anyways, though,
I'm speaking from personal experience, by the way. Whenever on my show, the Horsepower Hour, whenever Coy and I come to the same conclusion on like a deal or doob, like Justin, we have a segment called Deal or Doob where it's a car that either could be a really good deal for somebody or someone else would just pass it over, and we try to like get really bizarre cars. Matter of fact, I sent you this week's that V8 swapped Triumph, and of course you were just like hard pass. That thing is a pile of shit. However, I think there would be some people that would say that's not a bad deal. As a matter of fact, I've sent it to a couple of my buddies that were like, oh yeah, I'd buy that on the spot, no problem. And so we like to do that. The thing that people hate is when Coy and I are like exactly in tune because we're going through this thing and we're saying exactly the same things. And I feel like all of us are saying the same thing, but it's hard when you come across an episode like this because in Tales from the Crypt, they're really, really good episodes. There are really crap episodes. And then there are ones like this where they're everything they need to be. They're very entertaining. You're certainly not going to skip it when you're watching the DVD, but overall, it's just hard for anyone to say, oh, I hated that episode, or, oh, I fucking loved that episode. Like this was it was a solid, it filled 3/4, 70%, 3/4 of our needs. And so we're all falling in that same range. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but no, I definitely see what you're saying with that one. I will say that I am going to be kind of curious on the thoughts that I'm going to be having on the next episode. The next episode of Tales from the Crypt is Creep Course from Haunt of Fear issue number 23, and starring Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, I watched it the other night actually.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it's as good as this one, but I always will. I will say that I am a sucker for anything kind of like with some kind of basis in mythology, especially like Egyptian.
Yeah.
But it'd be fun. And by the way, for those that are going to be tuning in next week on 2G1C, me and Mr. Chuckles McNasty are going to be tackling a little film called Studio 666.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to be doing that next week as
the
well.
Foo Fighters horror comedy.
Yes, it's definitely a little bit. I think it's more of a comedy than a horror.
It's definitely more of a comedy, but it's also like a really good gore flick too. And there's some really cool guest appearances, but we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, for sure.
I love a good gormity, by the way.
Yeah, gormity. A gormity.
Have you seen it yet?
If that's the name of it, that's what it should be.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
Oh, I'm sure I have. I mean, I've seen a lot of the movies that you guys talk about, but it was years and years ago. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you've already done 13 Ghosts, but if you want a guest and you're still going to do 13 Ghosts, I'd love to jump on that because
the original or the remake?
The remake.
Okay.
They're both good. And this movie just came out like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the new Foo Fighters one. Yeah. You know what though? I will get that in the schedule really fast too. Because I'm actually really want to watch that one again, and I really like that movie quite a bit.
It is a good one.
Yeah. And process. Is it like Tenacious D? No, I wouldn't say it's like Tenacious D.
But yes, it has that same kind of like humor, but throw in.
Oh, I think the humor is much better in this one. I think Tenacious D is more of like and don't get me wrong, I like both of them for what they are, but this is definitely more mature funny.
Yeah.
Tenacious D takes some low blows with its kind of humor, but it's not bad either. Like I like them both, like I said. So I'm not talking shit. I'll watch them both any day of the week. But
Yeah, but I don't
If
think you'd never call the Pick of Destiny a horror.
no.
no. So that's the thing. This one's it's a good fucking watch. And like I said, we'll talk about it when we get to it. But I gotta say though, if you like Foo Fighters, if you like Foo Fighters, you play music, you like weird satanic music, and you kind of like doomy kind of shit too,
Gay
and some
porn.
gore and titties on top of it. Yeah.
It's really not a,
There's not really a lot of titties. There's a lot of gore though. There's some good death scenes in that motherfucker.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think there's any titties in that movie.
No, but there is the scene, and this is gonna be really like nobody's gonna get this, but the scene where the girl's like talking about getting the demons out, and she's like, "I'll just do it the old-fashioned way." And she gets on her knees.
Oh yeah, no, I got it pretty well.
It's a good one.
What's that Henry Rollins movie where he's supposed to be Cain that's been walking the earth for the last 80,000 years?
Oh shit, where he's the angel.
Yeah, that's another good one. So
Yeah, that is a good one.
He's a cannibal, but he tries to hold off on his cannibalistic instincts. By the way, that's total spoiler. Sorry. Post spoiler alert. There you go.
I mean, you kind of figure it out. Like, I mean, it's a good. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but yeah, I've got it actually. They made a sequel to it.
Yeah, it was with the girl. It was supposed to be Lilith. I watched that one too. It was okay, but the first one with Henry Rollins, super.
I love it.
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I'm a big Rollins fan though. So
yeah, I think we all are, to be fair. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. Andy, dude, thank you once again for coming on.
Always fun.
Always a fucking pleasure having you on, man. And
awesome.
we are definitely going to be planning a 13 Ghost as soon as I get these next few dates cleared. In fact, let's see here. I can't say exactly what date we have because I know that next week we have that going on. Then on the 1st, we just give everybody an idea what we're doing. Deborah Voorhees is going to be joining us on the 1st as we're going to talk about her film 13 Fanboy and a little bit of Friday the 13th. And I'm sure Chuck's going to be like, "Ooh, I loved you as Tina. You were my favorite." And talk about how that was like his first ever crush.
It wasn't my first ever crush, but she had a memorable scene, and her death in it is probably one of my favorite deaths.
Right.
So.
Right. And in fact, I don't think we have a guest for the 8th yet, do we?
I don't know. You're the one in charge of that shit.
Well,
I mean, no, you're right. We don't. I got to look.
No. So as long as Andy is free on April 8th at the same time. April 8th, same time, 13 Ghosts, motherfucker.
All right.
I just booked a fucking show during a show.
Boom. That's how we do it here.
Abigail Sinclair would be so proud of you right now.
Would she? Maybe we should message her and see if she wants to join us for that episode.
Hell yeah. I know she'd be down. Hey, boys, seriously, though, thank you so much for having me.
Dude,
Obviously, I'm a fan of the show, and I'm a fan of both of yours. We've never met, but I consider you both good friends of mine.
Is that why you showed us lemonparty.org?
Yes, it is. Listen, I'm just trying to save you some money on gas. All right. So everybody just go out and check out lemonparty.org. It's we've been so gripped by the 2-party system. It's time for us to get a 3rd party in there. So Lemon Party is really where it's at.
I feel like you've actually have thought this through. Like you're like, you know what? I have the perfect.
That was good. That was good.
It's a new political party. The Democrats are there, the Republicans are there, and they've both been fucking shit up for a while. But let's try
the Lemon Party.
You're gonna have some really pissed off listeners if they go and check out that website.
No pun intended.
Yeah. No pun intended, dude.
Please, my lemon.
Actually, speaking of this week on the Horsepower Hour, which got delayed because my co-host dropped his phone down a sewer drain. So we're a little bit delayed on this week's episode. Actually, we've been delayed on quite a few of our episodes as I'm and you can see behind me, I don't have my studio set up yet. But as we continue to get that all back together, we're going to keep working on that. The Facebook is at the Horsepower Hour. Of course, facebook.com/The Horsepower Hour. The group is at The Horsepower Hour. Instagram is at The Horsepower Hour. My TikTok, which I just got unbanned from. TikTok really doesn't like me posting street racing videos, especially when they're not mine.
You get
Oh,
a
wow.
lot
Yeah,
of issues
so
when you do your
I've
banning.
been banned. I think I've gotten 3 bans now because I posted videos of street racing. Matter of fact, one of them was very relevant. It was the new Nissan 400Z. An engineer was out driving it between locations for Nissan USA, and he got in a little street race with the Subaru STI, and it subsequently got fired. So it was headline news. You could go out on Auto Week or Car and Driver and see the video. I post the video to TikTok, instantly gets removed for, of all things, by the way, boys, hate speech. I was just like,
Really?
huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so that caught me a week-long ban.
Canceled.
I've been canceled so many times now, it doesn't even matter. So you can go and see some of our high trending TikTok videos over there. I got a bunch of videos that are over 100,000 views. So please go and check those out. And of course, we'll be producing content once I'm unbanned once again. Probably shadow banned.
And I've been sharing a lot of the links and everything too. And
thank you, my
obviously,
friend.
for those listening in the podcast world out there, obviously after this airs live, those links will also be in the show notes. So go over, click over to those, go check them out, give them a follow on all platforms. You know, at worst case scenario, at least you're gonna see some pretty cool cars, and you know, Andy will teach you about some really weird porn.
Yeah, you're going to learn something. So this week, we're
One way or
actually going to
another.
go over our top 5 of the week today. Right now is why gas costs so much. And you'll be surprised to know there are a few different factors going on. And realistically, no one catches all of the blame except for all of the greedy motherfuckers. So we're going to go in depth with all of that. And I'm just going to give you...
Which may I go ahead and say, just for the people out there, and this is not a political show at all, but all the greedy motherfuckers is every political party. It is everywhere. So it has nothing to do with one group or another group or one person. That is a lot of motherfuckers, and most of them pieces of shit.
It has
fuck us all.
It has to do with every single person that's in power that's supposed to be looking out for your well-being, lining their pockets. And don't worry, I have the receipts, because the videos of them saying that exact thing on mainstream news is still out there. So we're going to get into all that over on the Horsepower Hour.
Fancy.
Learning about what exactly the fuck is going on. I can tell you exactly what's going on. So please do come and check that out, with a whole host of other cool stuff going on. I've got a Suzuki X90 on snow tracks that's part of our fabricated suicide, and that's going to be a super fun time going through that. We've got lots of news. If you want to get a quick hit of your automotive news, do please make sure to come and check out the Horsepower Hour. And once again, boys, I love you both to death. You're both gentlemen, and I love this show, and I'm so honored to be on. Thank you.
Oh, dude.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
Thank you, man.
We love you too, brother.
Oh, dude, Andy, I don't even think I need to say it. Like, you know I fucking love you, man. I've had you on so many fucking times from the beginning, you know? Like, you're just an all-around great dude. And, hey, Chuck, do you have anything you want to share before we go ahead and get out of here?
Real quick, Bastard Sons of Vegeta Scope. Got some shows coming up. Check our Facebook page. Check that shit out. You can listen to us on Spotify. Go to YouTube. Some cool live videos. We got Nasty Nation. Go to the Facebook, Spotify, Graveyard Talk, Horror Podcast, of course. And also got them Video Store Clerks, which is the newest podcast I'm part of, where we're just 4 dicks talking about movies. And it's a lot of fun.
And Chuck, I forgot to ask, when are you doing your Unplugged, man?
The show. Man, that's a fun. That's funny, because that's been talked about. We just don't know how to go about it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
pretty fucking hard with what you do.
No, I mean, you'd be surprised, man. Some acoustic doom stuff is interesting. It's just trying to.
I feel like interesting is just a nice word when it comes to that kind of music.
I cannot wait, honestly, to hear your songs sung with like a country drawl, like "Satan, fill my soul," coming. Take the blood of this lamb.
Oh, that would just be my solo album. That would be my solo album.
Right. Hey,
Definitely.
Andy, if you're
Hey.
if you're down for singing, you can join my band, the Legitimate Sons of a Jesus Pig.
Dude, so I'm not much of a musician, but I will play the absolute fuck out of a kazoo. You've never heard anything like it.
Really?
Oh,
Be
yeah.
perfect.
I actually do. I just like Chuck is the drummer for his band, I'm the drummer for our band, and except I use a synthesizer for my drums.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We'll definitely have to check that out and everything. And
Yeah.
to get a nice kazoo track on there, I mean, can't go wrong with that.
I play 3 of them at the same time, boys. 2 in my nostrils and 1 in my mouth. I can technically play 4, but audiences don't always like that.
I had a girlfriend like that once.
Yeah, you did.
Except all 4 of them were in one hole.
All playing different tones. It was the weirdest thing.
It was strange.
It
Said
was.
meet her at this warehouse at midnight. I don't know. It was crazy.
Oh my fucking god! We need to get out of here before it gets dark. Last thing before we go ahead and close this bitch out, check us out on the Kickstarter. Help us get more backers than Josh. I mean, Josh is a great guy. He's doing a good job with this comic book, but wouldn't it be really cool to do better than what he has? I mean, come on, he's already established. I mean, he doesn't really need the help, guys. You know who does need the help? Us first timers. So show us a little bit of love. Help us with the backing on this. We would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, the crypt is closed.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.